Electronic Arts lays off upwards of 400 employees while canceling Titanfall extraction game. If you thought the media space was bad, Electronic Arts.
I mean, it is.
It is, but not comparable. It's not. It's not comparable. It's just not. Like with how many fucking raw numbers.
Raw numbers, you're correct, but I think that's just because there's more jobs in game development than there is in games media.
That's true. We see this news. We also see these news reels more common of some studio.
Again, because I think there's just more of them.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, if you have more opportunity to disappoint, you're going to disappoint more. You know?
Fair. Continuing onwards, Electronic Arts, EA.
Really negative way to say that.
It is very negative, but more cold rationale is how I would put it. Cut somewhere between 300 and 400 jobs across the company this past Tuesday, citing an often heard justification of realignment for future growth, while also canceling a Titanfall project, according to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. When I say this past Tuesday, you'll be listening to this on the Tuesday.
Last week.
That is the last week Tuesday. Quote, as part of our continued focus on our long-term strategic priorities, we've made select changes within our organization that more effectively align teams and allocates resources in service of driving future growth, said EA spokesman Justin Higgs. Schreier detailed the canceled Titanfall title, which was codenamed R7, reporting that the game was far from being finalized. This supposedly comprised one of two canceled projects, as an X, formerly Twitter, post from EA subsidiary and Titanfall developer Respawn Entertainment elaborated on. Quote, as we sharpen our focus for the future, we've made the decision to step away from two early-stage incubation projects and make some targeted team adjustments across Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi. The post reads, these decisions aren't easy, and we are deeply grateful to every teammate affected. Their creativity and contributions have helped build Respawn into what it is today. We're offering meaningful support to those impacted, including exploring new opportunities within EA. End quote. EA unveiled in January they'd be lowering their 2025 expectations after disappointing sales from EA Sports FC 25 and Dragon Age The Veilguard, with the latter having some of its BioWare developers shifted onto other projects within EA. Among those laid off were employees at British game developer Codemasters, responsible for franchises such as Overlord and Dirt, who were acquired by EA in 2021. With the layoffs came the announcement that Codemasters would end its partnership with the World Rally Championship, WRC, and the halting of future rally games, which they've developed since 1998. Codemasters will also have some employees moved on to other titles in EA Sports. Quote, as a business, we are constantly evolving to meet the growing needs of our players and driving greater focus across our portfolio, an EA spokesperson told Video Game Chronicles, VGC, on Saturday. This has led to us to look at reducing some roles while we redeploy as many as possible against our strategic priorities. Blah, 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 blah. We want to save money, cut jobs, fuck them.
All right, well, this one wasn't... This one... Yes, all right, yeah. Fuck these executives cutting all these jobs, hurting all these
general
people,
thing,
right? And this is the result of poor planning based off of the economic boom that we saw in the games industry because of the pandemic. More people were home, buying games, playing games, because they had the time and the money to do so, right? And so when that stopped and the shrinkage occurred, none of these big publishers planned or prepared for this as well as they should have. Now, when it comes to EA doing this, not the most unexpected thing, like you said in your article here. EA FC 25, which formerly known as FIFA, was EA's biggest player in their portfolio. That game would make billions of dollars for them. And it's been said before, FIFA did so well that it allowed them to do a bunch of different initiatives that allowed a lot of great games to come to market that otherwise wouldn't have. Unraveled is a case of that. It Takes Two is a case of that. What was it? The EA Play, or was that their thing? I forget what the EA initiative was called that like allowed them to go to these smaller developers and produce smaller titles for us to enjoy in that sense. But when EA FC 25 fails to produce, when a game that was in development hell and cost a bunch of money, Dragon Age The Veilguard, failed to produce results.
Most of the onus being put on EA Sports FC. They said that in their report. But
yes.
Still, it obviously hurt.
I mean, Dragon Age was a big project. That game needed to see success, and it just didn't. Which is unfortunate because despite the backlash and the reception to that game, not a terrible game. pretty deep, pretty even good game. Just not up to the standard that we would like BioWare titles to be. But we have both said it multiple times. This is a step in the right direction. We're hoping Mass Effect 4, 5, whatever you want to call it, whatever it turns out to be, whatever that project turns out to be, we hope that project, if it makes it to market, is an even greater step in the right direction and kind of brings BioWare back to the glory that we want to hold it to. All of that said, because those big 2 titles failed to deliver, I think we even said it when we covered that news story. There's going to be some layoffs. Now, it's unfortunate that it happened very heavily at EA's new golden child, Respawn, makers of Titanfall 1 and 2, Apex Legends, and the Star Wars Jedi games, which Apex Legends and the Jedi games have seen massive success. And so to see them take, nearly a third of the brunt of this round of layoffs is disheartening and upsetting. And to hear about another Titanfall game canceled. This marks like 3 or 4 in the last couple of years.
It's cursed franchise.
It really is, and it's unfortunate because Titanfall 1 and 2 were great games.
Yes.
We need to retire Titanfall. It's just not going to happen. Like, I just don't see a way that this could be. Now, EA had something like 13,000, 14,000 employees under its belt. That's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you normally don't see under that. So them tightening the belt and making these cuts, I can understand it, especially if with how uncertain the industry is right now, just battening down the hatches, I kind of get it. I'm not saying I agree with the decision. I'm not saying this isn't heartbreaking. I'm not saying this isn't unfortunate and from some perspectives, disgusting. Absolutely it is. But Respawn for a long time has had 2 strong pillars. Apex Legends being one pillar and the Jedi games being another pillar. And they've been searching for a third pillar for a long time. And for pretty much the entire time, this third pillar has been an attempt to revive Titanfall in some way or another. Whether it was a new single-player game in the Titanfall universe that got canceled. Whether it was another Star Wars game with more Titanfall-esque elements to it that got canceled. Whether it was now this Titanfall extraction shooter that didn't seem to make it very far in the development process, but has also been canceled. Also, that's not what we want. Nobody wants a Titanfall extraction shooter. So I think it's probably best that this thing got canceled anyway.
Yeah.
And them going, all right, let's just focus on our 2 pillars. Let's figure out how to make Apex Legends return to being the most poppinest Battle Royale game on the market, which I don't think they've declined in quality. I think they've just kind of plateaued.
Yeah, people don't talk about, it was already a saturated field at the time.
Oh, Apex kind of is the thing that saturated it.
It did, yeah, and it still was able to be one of the standout ones in that kind of game.
I still think it's the best.
Oh, I'd agree with you, actually. But it just, when have you heard their new big thing recently?
It's been a minute.
It's been a bit, yeah.
It's been a minute.
So it makes sense they would want to shore up more of it rather than try and go do things that, in this time period.
Now, what does that look like? Is it just another big update? Is it an Apex Legends 2 in some way to reignite interest from the fan base? Again, they still pull numbers. There's something like over 100,000 concurrents on Steam for Apex Legends every day.
Yep.
Which is just Steam alone. Those are healthy numbers. And you bring in the other 2 major platforms into that host Apex Legends, because Apex Legends isn't on Nintendo Switch as far as I know.
No.
That'd be crazy if it was.
Well.
But PlayStation, Xbox platforms, I'm sure are also bringing in massive numbers for Apex Legends as well. So it's by far not a dead game, just by raw numbers. It doesn't have the industry's interest right now. We're just quiet on it, but that doesn't mean they're not quality, right? And then Star Wars Jedi, get that third game out, make sure it's high quality. Hopefully they deliver a more polished product than they have the last 2 times, but 2 starts a pattern.
By the way, it is on Nintendo Switch.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Good for Switch, man.
Yeah, right, they got it.
So yeah, I think getting this third Jedi game out is probably a huge priority. We do have this Bit Reactor / Respawn Star Wars Zero company coming out hopefully soon, which is a tactics strategy game that I think looks good. We haven't really talked about it on the show yet. Have you seen the footage for Zero Company?
I have
No?
not.
It looks good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
XCOM people I can trust I can trust him.
Former XCOM people.
Former
yeah,
XCOM people,
yeah.
yes.
So yeah, I think it looks good. It kind of looks like the Star Wars XCOM game that I've kind of always wanted a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see if they deliver on that promise. With that, of course we haven't seen much, so we still gotta wait and see more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for that. So like, I think those projects are enough to kind of keep Respawn busy for a little while. And I think unfortunately these cuts that they make in order to just ensure quality long term, I think these are, I don't want to say necessary, but smarter cuts. Cuts that make a little bit more sense
Yeah,
than what we've seen in the past.
My issue is the massive amount of people they laid off.
I feel for them.
Yep.
I pray. I feel for and I pray they got my thoughts. I hope they land on their feet. I hope they find new jobs that add them security. I hope they don't have to uproot their family and move. And I hope they stay in the industry as much as they can. This industry right now is facing a lot of people who are leaving it because they're super disheartened in it.
Yeah.
Understandably so. This fucking sucks.
It doesn't matter if you do a good job. In some cases, you could still get laid off.
100%.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Respawn is a great example
Yep.
of this. I'm sure whatever they've been baking and continuously getting canceled, I'm sure every project that's been canceled at Respawn had potential. They're a very talented team. They're more versatile than you would expect coming off of just the two Titanfall games. The Jedi games are great action adventure Metroidvania styled games.
Yeah.
Like, they're great. So for them to be able to be that versatile is super impressive. I'm sure. I have no doubt that whatever they were making, they could have made something really special with that. But now I think it's just time to let's just focus on these two things.
And we'll see how that plans out for them.
Now, the rest of EA is upsetting because to me, the rest of EA is just turning into, we have our exceptions to the rule with Hazelight Studios with Split Fiction, which has been a major success this year, right? I think that's probably going to be it when we start talking EA on the smaller side is just Hazelight. And how small is Hazelight now? I don't know. Every game they release, it seems like we're
Bigger and bigger and bigger.
we got to upgrade them to that full-blown AAA status. Maybe not so much with Split Fiction, but maybe coming with their next game, I would say, is probably a good idea of where they're going to be. Or maybe they just continue putting out these size projects, which is probably healthy. But I think that's all we're going to see from EA. From here, Battlefield, FIFA. That's it.
Yeah.
And why do we want more Battlefield?
I do. I think this next one's going to be good.
And they better fucking, if they fucking better if we're going to turn fucking Motive Studios into just a Battlefield support studio. A waste.
What's wrong with that?
Waste. Dead Space was awesome. Star Wars Squadrons was awesome. The flight aspects of Battlefront 2 were cool.
Didn't make money. Didn't make money. So what do you want? What do you want from people?
Dead Space did make money.
I know it did.
It didn't make enough money.
That's the
stupid.
key thing here. You're sick. Oh well. I'm becoming numb to it pretty much. Like, yep, another layoff. When's the next one gonna hit?
I mean, it's hard not to feel that way, right?
Yeah.